guys, I am Chris Kaler.
And I'm Andrew from Kyuujin, and today we're back with you guys for House of Dragons, Season 2, Episode 6.
This one is called SMALLFOK. So, we were supposed to binge watch the last episodes, and then right after last episode, I got sick, and then she got sick.
She got me sick.
Yeah.
And now we're kind of feeling better.
So sorry. We're back, finally. Last episode, a lot happened. Daemon wanted to force the Brackens to join him, and he had the Blackwoods basically do whatever they wanted, persuade them by capturing their wife and children. That led to a lot of his lords being like, dude, we're never gonna follow a tyrant like you, so fuck off, and they left. So now Daemon's basically alone. It's not working for him.
Nope.
Jacaerys got tired of being, stuck at home, so he left and he got his mom the twins.
Nice.
I was a bit afraid, like he was promising a lot of things, but Rhaenyra seems to be happy. Like she was mad that he left and that he did this behind her back, and she's also mad that she's basically stuck at home because she's the queen and no one wants her to go out and risk her life, but she feels like she should be doing something and it's just not working.
And then he proposed an idea for them to have more dragons against the green, which is to search for every person who might have Targaryen blood in their veins, like distant relatives basically, and ask them to tame a dragon.
Go for diluted Targaryen blood in case they find, dragon riders. They're also currently trying to get the small folk in King's Landing to rise up and rebel, which, I mean, it's gonna work, I think, because there's already some unease. Aegon took over. No, Aegon is in his bed, and he's not dead, but he's not awake, and he's burnt all over, so they don't have much hope. So Aemon took over. And right away he didn't dismiss his mom, but no one's listening to Alicent, and Aemond is moving things along. He got the doors closed in King's Landing so the small folk can't leave. There's no money, there's no food, there's a lot of illness. So the people in King's Landing are not happy, and they saw the death of Meleys, and basically the Greens carrying the head in King's Landing as a bad omen. So there's unease in the capital. So, basically Rhaenyra is trying to use that against the Green. So this is where we are. I'm excited to see where this is gonna go. We'll see who becomes the dragon rider.
Yeah, true. We saw Daemon fucked his mom and his illusions.
True.
That was traumatizing.
Let's forget that.
Yeah.
Let's jump in this episode and see what they have in store for us. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more of these episodes, and check out our Patreon for the full-length reactions.
Alright, let's go.
The Golden Tooth is honored to receive you, my Lord Lannister. I have 500 fighting men full of spirit.
I bring 1,000 knights of my own, 7 times as many archers and men-at-arms.
We know you have money. We know that.
We have an actual lion.
I know. Those were the days.
Tell my brother we are ready to march as soon as Prince Aemond is able to join us on Vhagar.
Of course they have the security of Vhagar, it'll be fine.
He dares to summon me with haste.
You bring security. They're afraid.
Tell your brother that if he does not deliver his host to Harrenhal with haste, Daemon's dragon will become the least of his worries.
What has come of our letters to the Greyjoys?
They have been to no avail.
He'll reap whatever's left.
In with honey, if it comes to it. An offer of marriage, perhaps, to the Dowager Queen.
Out of the question.
Alas.
Oh, that alas was like, I don't really care what you think.
It's time you set out for Harrenhal, I think.
Your Grace, if Daemon prevails in the Riverlands, I no longer have the numbers to challenge him.
Are you scared, Kristen?
Well, I think he is.
A bit.
We would do better to await the High Tower host and set out in good time.
There is no time. We must strike before his army is raised.
And you yourself?
I'll fly out to meet you when the time is right.
They need to trust that he'll show up. But like Aemon doesn't really listen to others. He's got his own plans. Maybe in times of war he's better than Aegon, but he's a bit terrifying.
He's too overconfident. And his
But he's got Vhagar.
Because he's got Vhagar, but he's too overconfident.
I caution you. Boldness is one thing, but overconfidence...
Remind me of your place on the small council.
He wants to dismiss her.
You served the realm well, at a time of need. That need is ended. You are no longer obliged. Sure you'll be much pleased to return to more domestic pursuits.
Bitch, please. Oh, the disregard. To be fair, they were not listening to her, but at least she was here.
Have the indignities of your childhood not yet sufficiently been avenged?
But then again, you were not a good mother to him. Like, he literally goes to a mother figure in the brothels. He seeks something he never got
You
from
have the
you.
gratitude of the crown.
Such a broken family. Did he put the pin on?
I think he did.
Okay,
Yeah, looking good.
thank you.
So,
What
are
changed?
we, what are we doing now?
Did you notice anything?
You cut your hair?
Is aught amiss, Your Grace?
I find myself, Sir Stephen, in an impossible position. I need more dragon riders.
Are you willing to try?
Vermithor and Silverwing. And for Seasmoke, who I believe misses his bond.
Then who could do it?
You.
You could try.
It's like tales of legend, beasts like gods.
Your grandmother's grandmother, Ariana, was born a Targaryen princess. And I have been thinking, could it be possible?
We're talking about his life. Maybe you'll be for it.
Your Grace honours me beyond what I deserve.
Doesn't mean that it's gonna work though.
To claim a dragon, you must also be prepared to die.
I well understand the risk and I accept it with gladness.
He's a good man. And it's a great opportunity to get a dragon.
Then perhaps the gods will favor us.
I don't know if it's gonna work though.
I hope
His
for,
grandmother's grandmother.
I hope for its sake it's gonna work.
The heir for a day.
You can't possibly still be angry about this.
You're dreaming of this, so it's in
You
your
should have been
conscience.
at my side.
It's all of your regrets.
Instead, you chose to celebrate your own rise, laughing at me. I have only ever defended you. In everything I've given you, you've thrown back in my face. I've decided to name a new heir.
We've seen that before, but now he's genuine and it's his all his emotions are to the surface. Will he react differently?
Maybe he's thinking that if I had done something else, I could have been by my brother's side and protect him better.
Like, you can't run away from this, like it's you now, right? If I'm this guy, I'm questioning his sanity so much.
Damon, what you're doing right now doesn't look good for you.
He's losing support, he's losing his sanity, his emotions are coming back up, it's messing with his head, man.
You weren't going to bid me farewell?
There's something wrong with me. Someone poisoned me. Or else it's this swamp air or...
The ghost of Harren the Black moaning his curses from Kingspire Tower?
Drivel! The ghost, the curses, the blasted weirwood bed, I'm done with it.
Ah, yes, it is your way, is it not?
He always flees.
Please you, you run. You struggle to see there's an anger that blinds you.
She never even wanted it. The crown.
Well, that's perhaps why your brother gave the crown to her. Perhaps those who strive for it are the least suited to wear it.
I agree. I've always believed that. The crown is a responsibility, not a gift.
It's not a prize to be won, but a burden to bear.
Well said.
If you have any counsel for dealing with the River Lords, I'd be glad of it.
Stop being an asshole for once,
Demon
maybe.
Targaryen asking for help.
Well, he's starting to realize, I think, his ways don't work.
I need help, Alice.
In 3 days' time, the winds will shift.
He needs to stop underestimating the people he wants to work for him.
Is it gonna work?
I don't know, I expect the guy to die. I know, it's Game of Thrones universe, I'm cynical. Kind of think that we need a few to fail, so the ones that succeed, like it feels more like a big thing. Don't bear steel, it's not gonna help you.
Seasmoke. Rebus.
I mean, okay, so far so good.
I don't know if that's enough to make him worthy of Seasmoke.
It's about strength of character. Like, the dragon needs to accept the person. He's like, psych.
I've done it.
Don't say that. You jinxed it.
bullshit.
Yeah. Still alive, man. I'm thinking the guy who gets Seasmoke is like one of those, the bastards of, yeah. Because like one of them was looking at Seasmoke with longing. I'm thinking it's gonna be him.
I wish you to sail with me. As my first mate.
There are more experienced men at your service.
I think he wants to prepare you to take over.
You distinguished yourself in the Stepstones. And you have the respect of the crew. You are a fine choice for this post.
Is this an order or a request?
I will expect you to report for your duties on the morrow.
Sounds like an order. I guess as a bastard, you never expect anything to be given to you. Like, every nice gesture has a secret meaning behind it,
You
right?
don't. As a bastard, you don't have the
right to anything.
The right to anything or the right to hope for something bigger than this.
Makes you sick, doesn't it? Knowing they're banqueting every night at the castle.
What fish with more fish on the side?
Brats of lamb, my love.
People are gonna get angry.
Honestly, keep spreading the rumors.
I mean, people will start to think that if Rhaenyra was on the throne, she will be like her father.
Things would be
and
different.
not treat us this shitty.
Seasmoke has fled Dragonstone, and Sir Stephen was a valiant knight. I myself, if you recall, was in favour of treating with Lord Mutton. True, not as sensational.
She's not looking for sensation.
His numbers were few. We may yet retake.
It's kind of
Thank
deserved.
you.
Yeah.
It is my fault I think that you have forgotten to fear me.
I like how she said that. Quick reminder, I'm your queen. I can do some shit.
Just think that she's looking for sensational way to achieve
really,
her things.
Not just that, they talk to her like she's not the queen. Like they talk to her like she's just some woman in charge of things, but they disrespect her. Knowledge or no knowledge, experience or no experience, this is bullshit.
The small folk of King's Landing are listening.
Yeah.
They were ready enough to hear.
Will it be enough?
We have laid the kindling only. Tonight we will light it.
Aemond will put it down with force.
That will make it rise the hotter. He cannot destroy his own city.
Keep him focused on King's Landing.
And we all know that Aemond is not a good diplomat, right?
This becomes you.
Like her ancestor Visenya.
They don't want her to fight because she's the queen, but also because she's a woman. Like I said, you know, if she was a man, they kind of would expect
her to be out there.
It seems, Your Grace, that the small folk have become restless.
So?
There is not
So?
food enough in the city.
Why is this anger directed at us?
Because you're doing nothing to help your people.
You're in charge.
It is the burden of authority. But you should not go it alone. Your Grace has yet to name a hand.
Oh.
Secrecy, of course. You need one who may advance your cause with shrewdness and subtlety.
That's not subtle.
On the contrary, my
Have
prince.
little patience for the self-important Lord Laris.
Like at least he notices this.
Every king needs a hand. I'll make it your responsibility.
My prince, it is an honor I've never considered for
Not
myself.
to serve as hand. Send word to Otto Ida.
Oh.
Grandfather.
That's not a bad idea.
I'll see my brother.
He's not gonna like that.
Fuck.
Not you.
His eyelid is being like melt.
Well,
on his cheek.
What do you remember?
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. His reaction tells me he does, but
he does remember what happened, but if he talks, he's gonna be dead.
You challenged Meleese. It was foolish.
I remember nothing.
Aemon is in power and he knows it. Aegon's so afraid at this point. Because he's still the king. If he can talk, he can say what happened. He can order Aemon not be his heir anymore. Like, he can do damage.
Yeah.
That was damage control. What dragon did this? That's a nest?
No, that's a carnage.
Well, yeah, but dragon for you, maybe? If she gets a dragon, she gets to stay and be helpful.
And help Rhaenyra, yeah.
Ah,
okay. So see what gifts I give you. Because I want to help you.
What you're lacking, I can offer you. They don't feed you, I will. Switch your allegiances. That's great.
Tell the Greens it was me. Oh my god, there's so many boats.
Well, it's a lot of people to feed.
Oh yeah. Like I said, it's gonna change. It's gonna change the tide.
That's a genius plan. I'm glad we have Mysaria on our side. Aemon with his soul, like underestimating their strength is bad. The gift.
They're starting to uprise.
They're getting the food from Rhaenyra.
They came ashore in the middle of the night with gifts from the Queen. She thinks of us even now.
They're so gonna uprise.
And like, if Aemon does anything to stop them from getting it, that's gonna be huge. They'll freak out. Like, oh, she's been giving us food. Or like, that guy got food from Rhaenyra. Where's my food? Who threw these poops on me? If you know, you know. No, shit!
Oh shit.
Yeah, you pissed them off more, guys. And it's, I mean, have they changed the knights? Because if it's still the ones that Aegon chose, they're not trained. They're not used to this.
Oh shit. The fact is, she just gave them food. What are you gonna say against her?
That's all they needed. Are you truly like king or queen when you've got no one to rule over because they turn on you?
That's Emma and Viserys.
Yeah. David, she's gone.
I'm sorry. I'm here now.
Okay. I was wondering if, you know, because we never really know with his visions. It's his regrets and it's opportunities too.
He wasn't there, right? I mean, no, he was there.
Maybe he wasn't there.
Your Grace. Lord Grover is dead.
The tides will turn. So now his son takes over and he has a voice.
You can take action.
Of Lord Grover's passing. Well, he'd been ill, of course. Our own healer, Alice Rivers, volunteered her renowned skills.
Did she do? She did this.
You think that she poisoned him?
Maybe. He asked for help.
More to be done.
Thank you. See, sometimes asking for help.
Finally, I can do something now.
It's interesting too that it happens right after in his vision. He finally says, "I should have been here" to his brother. Like he says what he should have said, acknowledges his mistake. The dragon's like.
I don't know
it's
why,
circling him. It's like it knows already for sure. He's gotta get on his back.
We'll say he's not looking for food.
Maybe, but I don't care.
I mean, have you seen him? He's a snack.
Snack or not, he picked him.
That's a dragon.
Well, you wanted fame? Try. Don't show fear. You kind of look like my old master. Same father?
I do not think I can win this war. My own son questions my capabilities.
That usually happens in war. No one is ever happy.
It was my father, who was still a child. He had his pleasure with me. He left me for dead.
I'm so sorry.
Swore to myself I would never trust another. You have seen me as worthy, as an equal even. Because of that, I will serve you. I believe you are meant to be queen.
Thanks. She needs that.
She needs support. She needs people to believe in her skills and her capabilities. Maybe she's feeling alone also.
I think it's comfort. It's just a safety, trust, care. They feel like she feels too alone, and it's nice to finally have someone who says that to her.
Begging your pardon.
The dragon Seasmoke has been sighted flying over Spice Town. He has a rider.
Yeah, not who you expected.
The Greens?
I don't know who else it could be.
Let's go see who it is. Oh, in the trailer on the beach. That could be that scene. She's got the same clothes. Good outfit, by the way. Okay, so a lot happened. Who do you want to talk about first?
The Velaryon bastards.
Okay, I forgot their names.
Addam, that's the guy with the black hair.
Adam? Addam. Okay, well, sorry about the accent. I forgot their names, so the two bastards. So the older one, I feel like he's hiding his hair, like he's got the hair of his dad, a reminder of like, whose bastard he is, right? Going off of Jon Snow feelings, and I mean what we know of bastards, I feel like he's old enough like to realize that he's never gonna really be acknowledged as a son. He's never gonna receive anything, and he doesn't want, like, as a bastard he would have been treated differently, so he would have had to prove himself to get where he is. I don't think he wants pity. I don't think he wants hand-me-downs like, oh, like you're Corlys's bastard, so like here, take the scraps and stuff. Like, he wants to prove himself, but unlike his younger brother, he doesn't want the recognition from Corlys, because maybe for him it would sound fake, or it would sound like, oh, you're my bastard, I guess I should give you something, right? So every time I feel like Corlys makes a move towards him or offers him an opportunity, he kind of rejects it. Maybe because he's also been disappointed so many times in his life that he feels like this is a poisoned gift. Like there's going to be something expected. Like you're not reaching out to me because you care, because you're my father or whatever. You're reaching out to me because you have something in mind.
Could be also the fact that even if he has a better position, better stuff from his father, in the eye of the people who works with him, in their eyes, is still a bastard.
But then you say that.
So God, you can have better habits. You can have better responsibilities. You can be above us, but don't kid yourself. You're still a bastard. You're still a nobody.
If that changed now, maybe yes, people would be like, this is the only reason why he gave you this. Kind of like Jon being treated differently. Like he's not like all the other bastards because he was Ned Stark's son, right? But in this case, Corlys never really treated him like a son. Like, that's the vibe I got. Like, just like Rhaenys never really spent time with him. Like, it's not like he hung out with the family, right? Mm-hmm. So he made his way, towards a position on the ship. He worked his way up. He saved Corlys's life, and after that, like, they know who they are, like each other. They know each other, but he never truly paid attention to him. And then he saved his life, and he started like looking at him more and more, and now he's looking for an heir, so things are changing, and I feel like
Bella did tell her father that, her grandfather, sorry,
she wasn't gonna be
that the one who should rule the Stepstones, Driftmark, sorry, should be someone from the sea.
Granted, it's deserved, like he did save his life, and he's done some great things according to what they've been saying, but I feel like to him, it sounds like I'm using you because I have no one else, so might as well. But I never really paid attention to you until I needed you, right? As for the younger brother, if the older brother accepted his position and decided, like, I'm fine here, like, what I have, I did for myself, and I don't want hand-me-downs, I don't want pity, I don't want a father who doesn't care. The other one, like, he's had it rough too, I guess, but he feels like maybe he's just rebelling more. Maybe it's because he's younger, but I feel like he's like, Corlys owes us something, right?
I think it's good because they are showing us two possibilities, like the one who accept his position as bastard, who's gonna have nothing
and rejects Corlys.
And the other one who said, I should have been living among them because that's my father, that is supposed to be my family, but why am I right here, down here?
Yeah, kind of like one accepts he's a bastard and that's the way things are, and the other's like, you did this, that's on you, you shouldn't treat us differently, especially if they do something that deserves praise, or at least a position, right? He said it, he owes us. Mm-hmm. You had children and then you let them, like, that's the whole thing with bastards that I never really like. Like, in this world, the whole thing about, like, if I have children and I'm married, they're fine, but if I go around and sleep that's on them somehow. Like, they get the shame when you're the one that goes around and sleeps with people. Like, this is a backwards view of the world for me. That's always been like this, and it's unfair to the kids who never asked to be born, but they're the ones somehow being treated like shit because of your decision. So I would be more like the youngest brother. I'd be like, you decided to, well, I mean, you didn't decide to have kids, but you slept around and you had children, and you're not supporting us. You're not like treating us like your kids. You feel ashamed maybe of us, like you keep us at bay and stuff. And I'd be also questioning, like, if my older brother does something, saves your life, and you're not, giving him anything for it, like, you're not treating him like you would any other sailor.
Acknowledging us.
Yeah, is it because he's your son and you're trying to, you don't want people to talk, like, you don't want rumors to spread, oh, he's got bastards, see, like, because maybe that's, they don't know, like, the guy is cutting his hair, he doesn't want people to notice, so he doesn't want to be treated differently, and he doesn't want people to associate, like, his name is probably, like, I don't know where he was born, so maybe not Rivers. If he was born near Dragonstone, that would, that's something else. I forgot the names of the bastards, but he probably has a bastard name.
Isn't it Storm, the bastard's name? And for
no, well, in Dragonstone, the Targaryens, that's not the same. They have black fire, so that's not that. Storm, maybe. Rivers would be the Riverland.
Help us out, please.
I don't remember, but still.
Help us out.
He would have a bastard name. So they know he's a bastard, yet he's made his way up, and they respect him.
Yeah, but
that's already good.
You can know that one is a bastard,
but you don't know whose father.
From whose sire.
So he's trying to keep that away so people don't make connections, people don't maybe take advantage of it or, say stuff about this. But, like, if he saves Corlys's life and Corlys doesn't react the way you would other people, you'd be thinking, oh, maybe you do that because you don't want other people to know he's your bastard. Like, you don't want people to make a connection. But that is bullshit because the guy did save his life. So I'd be more like the little brother, right?
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, I said it before, but the Velaryon can't ride dragons. It's the Targaryens. So I'm guessing they had Targaryen blood through their mom somehow. And I mean, the younger brother wants recognition, right? He wants to make a name for himself. He doesn't want to disappear. He doesn't want to make himself invisible because of his status. And he's probably been feeling a pull towards dragons. Anyone would be, like, with the head on their shoulders in this show would be feeling in awe, like they'd be in awe of dragons because they are represented like gods.
They are like gods, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like asking someone, like, do you want to ride a dragon? It'd be terrifying, but if you listen, like, if you see an opportunity, I'd be like, yeah, it's a dragon. You're
even though
that
dragon. Your life is on the line and you could end up dead.
Well, if you're afraid for your life more than you want, like, recognition and stuff, that's one thing. In this case, the guy didn't have a choice. The dragon chose him. The dragon was like, I'm tired of being alone. Right? Let's go. I pick you.
That's why they tried to choose me a new rider. Fuck that. I'm gonna choose my own.
The connection.
You're gonna do it. Let's go.
The connection between dragon and dragon rider is almost like, it's crazy. So maybe they felt each other.
True.
Seasmoke was singing and longing and just in grief, and he was looking at Seasmoke and just feeling in awe, and just maybe he felt a connection.
But our dragon is supposed to only have one rider until the rider died.
That's why I'm thinking that he died.
Oh.
Or, I mean, Seasmoke thinks he's dead, but if the connection is, like, almost magic...
He's supposed to feel it.
I know.
So it doesn't mean that he's dead. Shit.
Well, we'll never know, because, I mean, and even in the book, we don't know he survived the initial attack. Like, the scene where we see him in the boat leaving, that doesn't exist, apparently, in the book. So, in the book, we already assumed he was dead, and just people are saying, like, maybe they did something. The show made it clear that Daemon and Rhaenyra had a plan for this, and he's not dead. But now that Seasmoke is looking for another rider, I'm thinking he did die in Pentos, or in the Free Cities. So there's that. And, but now, yeah, Rhaenyra was gonna go meet him, and he's technically Corlys' son, so he's technically on our side. I hope his, like, the cat wants to come in. I hope his new importance is not gonna go to his head, like, now I have a dragon, I do whatever I want.
But since he has a dragon, that means that it is possible for someone of not pure Targaryen blood or strong Targaryen blood to tame and ride a dragon.
That also means you need to find someone with the guts to go.
But it brings me a question though. Since Addam is technically a bastard, is it gonna question the legitimacy of Rhaenyra's children even more?
Why? They have dragons?
Yeah, but even bastards can ride dragons.
How would that change anything? Like, even bastard, then you can say anyone here could be a bastard. Like, that's just, I don't think that would change anything. But still, that means we might have another dragon rider for us. And not just one, because apparently now there's a dragon in the Vale, and Rhaenyra has been looking for a dragon. Rhaenyra?
Rhaenyra.
Yeah, she's been looking for a way to fight back.
Isn't it Rhaena?
Rhaena or Rhaenyra?
It's Bela and Rhaena.
I don't remember.
Rhaena.
But still, she's been looking for a way to fight back for a long... Oh, that's the next episode. I was going back, but that's
no,
episode
it's Bella and Rhaena. And for the dragons and the vet, I think that is Sheep Stealer. I know when I watched years ago a video about all the dragons in the lore, about which one is bigger than the other one. And I know that there's one named Sheep Stealer, and those were sheeps, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
That's what
I think that is this one.
So a dragon that they didn't hear about, that's an opportunity for her. I hope she doesn't get killed trying to, ride him, because it's a wild one too. It's not like it's been trained, and she's been failing so far, although that doesn't mean anything. It just means you didn't connect with the dragons you tried with. But her desire to help her family is very strong. She's old enough to help, and because she doesn't have a dragon and she's a woman, there's nothing she could add to the family, so that's why he sent her away. But yeah, she's been wanting to come back ever since, so I'm thinking, Pantos or no Pantos, she's gonna go look for that dragon, and I'm gonna hope it works, for her sake, and because we don't want other people to die.
Speaking about the role of being a woman,
we're going to that now.
It's
okay.
interesting to see the similarities and the differences between Alicent and Rhaenyra, because both of them are women, basically, and both of them are not being listened to all the time. The main difference is that Rhaenyra is in the seat of power. That's the only reason why our council is listening to her words.
Yes, but Alicent ruled before. It wasn't a time of war, but she basically proved to them that she could handle the realm in place of Viserys, and to completely dismiss her like this, not just dismiss her, talk over her. Like when they were mentioning, perhaps an alliance, like a marriage with the Queen Dowager, and she was like, no, and he was like, alas, bitch, please, like,
oh my gosh,
she would, and unfortunately, if Aemon decided he needed an alliance, she would not have anything to say. Like, she'd have to truly either run away or do something, but it's, back in those days, it wasn't her, women's place to do shit when it came to marriage, decisions, power, all of that. It's not their place, and men kept them away from all decisions. She kind of had to take over when Viserys was sick, but as soon as she wasn't needed anymore, they discarded her. It's like she never did anything, right? It's like she lost all credibility. And, I mean, the excuse they use most is, now it's a time of war, right? You know nothing of war. But Rhaenyra had a good point in the previous episode. They also don't have fucking experience when it comes to war, because they never have been at war. They've been in an era of peace, right?
True.
So the big difference I can actually be behind is that when you're a woman in those days, you're not trained for war, right? You're not trained in the ways of the sword. You're not taught strategies, but it doesn't mean they can't learn. If you don't give them a chance, they're never gonna learn. And when they are in power, to dismiss them simply because you're like a child, basically you're no better than a child because you're a woman, it's very insulting. So I feel bad for Alicent. I kind of understand, like, Aemon, to be fair, in a time of war is good. He's been doing good. Like, he has his faults. I'll talk about this later. But he's a powerful, person in this moment, right? He's got power, he's got people listening to him, and he came up with the strategies that got them
But I do think that the
other
fact
castles.
that he has Vhagar as a dragon makes him too overconfident in his abilities.
I want to talk about this later. Now we're talking about Alicent, though. I'm thinking that in times of war, Alicent maybe would not have been good enough. And to be fair, like Rhaenyra is also struggling. She's been saying like, I don't know what to do and stuff. But again, Rhaenyra sometimes wants to do things and the other people around her keep pushing her down because they see another way of doing this, right? They've been more in charge than her at this point and they've been losing, but whenever something goes wrong, they blame her and they push their agenda. So it's frustrating because as Rhaenyra, you're like, I want to do stuff, and they're like, nope, you can't do stuff, you're the queen, so let's do that instead. And then she decides to finally do what they want, and it goes to shit, and they blame her because, oh, you didn't do it fast enough, or, oh, you should have done this instead. And I also get the frustration.
There's no way to win.
No, and I also get the frustration of, you know, every time you mention her name, somehow Daemon's come after, right? Like, it's never just Rhaenyra. It's like she needs Daemon to have power with her own council, and it's insulting because she should be able to stand on her own 2 feet as the queen.
You know what? I think it's because Daemon has credits to his name. I mean, he did fought the triarchy back in the day, and he did cut the leader's head back in the day also.
Yes.
So he proved his worth as a warrior and as someone who can handle stuff.
Like, I try to
Rhaenyra
understand.
has yet to prove her worth,
but they're not
worth as a leader.
They're not allowing her to prove anything.
There's
That's
also
the big difference. And I also agree that Daemon has experience and he's proved himself on the battlefield. So I would also want Daemon there. Like when she was saying, Daemon, and why do you need Daemon? I'm like, well, technically he's a good fighter. He's a good commander. He's got a dragon. Like there's a lot. There's a lot there. Like you need Daemon, but not because I want Daemon to replace her, or not because I think she can't be a good queen. But because I think your army needs strength, and he's strength, right? It's kind of like Aemon with Vhagar. They want him in King's Landing. They want him everywhere with his armies. But we want Daemon here too.
I mean,
but Rhaenyra, she can't prove anything if they don't allow her to do shit. That would be. This is where it gets well, not confusing, but complicated. Because if she was a man, and she was a soldier, kind of like when Jon became king in the North, right?
Yeah.
She would be expected to lead her armies. I guess in King's Landing, when they kept Aegon away from the battlefields, he's a child, right? He has no experience. He's not like a commander or anything. But as soon as Aegon was not a commander or anything, so they want to keep him away from war. As soon as Aemon became king regent, they've been asking for him to join. So that's the big difference. If the commander has strength, a big dragon, if he's a good fighter, they would expect him to be out there fighting. Rhaenyra hasn't proved anything, but she could be a force to be reckoned with her dragon, but they don't want her out there because they don't trust her as a woman. There's a big double standard there, and unfortunately, she's getting tired of it, and I think she's going to start, maybe she's going to start just disregarding the people that stop her from going. Just like in the end, when she found out there was a new rider on Seasmoke, she left, and Jacaerys was in the back being like, Mom, no! He's frustrated because, you don't want her to leave and be in danger. If that's one of the greens on Seasmoke, that could turn into a fight, and that's really bad. But she said, like, fuck that, I'm dealing with this. As she has the right to. I really like when she picked up the sword, by the way.
Yeah.
It felt strong. Like, it's a time of war. It's kind of expected of her, but they dismiss her all the time. So take that sword, man, and start making decisions.
It's the fact that they had an history Targaryen women like Visenya who were on the battlefield fighting their enemies. So she could be out there. She can do her thing.
Yeah, but it's not back in the day. Like, she's surrounded by men who think they know better. And, like, those that were trained in the art of war, at least they have the knowledge, but they don't have the experience. So that's why I'm like, knowledge, she can learn that. If you allowed her to learn, if you confided in her, if you taught her, if you gave her credit, maybe. But, and, like, that's on foot, right? She knows more about her dragon than they do.
I mean, she's been riding Sarah since she was 7.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly.
It's a war of dragons, guys. Like, it's the dance of dragons. So, yeah, maybe if it was, army against army, I would not be expecting her to be leading the charge on a horse with a sword, right? She doesn't know how to use a sword. But it's a war between dragons, and you know nothing about dragons, so what the fuck are you gonna do?
Yeah.
But like the Greens are asking for like, that's the thing. As when they have the strength, they expect you to use it, and this is like if the way they treat Aemon, like oh you have a big dragon and you want Vhagar as like protection and stuff.
As our escort.
Yeah, like they are asking for Aemon to come out there because they are going after Daemon, who's got a big reputation, and he's got a dragon, a big one too. So they expect Aemon to do his job and show up. Well, why can't they do that with Rhaenyra? She wants to go out there. She wants to do her job. Of course, last time they did that, they lost Rhaenys. So
true.
It's a bit like it goes on both sides a little bit. Like we give and we take from both sides, but I understand her frustration. So the kiss with Mysaria at the end, I feel like it's not necessarily romantic. It's very just longing. Mysaria hasn't had someone to trust in so long, and
Rhaenyra felt seen and understood.
They both felt understood. They both felt supported, and Rhaenyra, she's looking for one person who finally like looks at her with the respect she deserves, with the adoration, but not necessarily with adoration, but someone who looks at her like a queen. And Mysaria literally said, "I look up to you as a queen. Like you are the right person." You. I think it's just stroked something in her, and she's like, finally, like someone sees me for who I could be, and it's great. Like I think she hasn't had that since like even when with her father, it was very like little moments here and there, but it's something she's longing for.
If you recall, in the first season, Viserys chose Rhaenyra to piss off Daemon because he was causing havoc.
It wasn't to piss off Daemon.
At first, he chose Rhaenyra because he wanted to push aside his brother because he was causing problems.
It was a
and he was waiting for
don't scream.
He was waiting for his son, but with time, he decided to stick up with Rhaenyra at the end of it. But
well, I don't think it was to piss off Daemon. Like the choice of word, I think, is bad. They were looking for a way to keep Daemon away because he was, you know, he was doing more bad than good, and he truly wanted to prove himself, and he was never satisfied with the reactions because he would do things on his own, just like he's doing now in the Riverlands, and it led to shit, and he never truly acknowledged his mistakes and stuff. So he was more of a problem. The council didn't want him there, so they decided to send him away, and they needed an heir to replace Daemon. So, I mean, they chose Rhaenyra, but it was out of necessity, but Viserys stood by his choice later on. So out of necessity, not to piss off Daemon. And that's not the right choice of word. So there you go.
Alright.
In any case.
Well, yeah, you brought up earlier the fact that Aemon is not really good at ruling his people. If you don't have people to rule over, are you really a king or a queen?
We're jumping to Aemon.
Yeah. Because when we talk about Alicent, it's the fact that she ruled instead of Viserys in a time of need. There's more than just war and war council when you rule over a kingdom.
True.
There's different facets to ruling, not just one.
The thing is, times will always be hard when there's war. Okay? And if you have to feed dragons too, it's gonna be even worse. What I really didn't appreciate was when they said that the small folk are rising up, like they're getting angry because you're dismissing the people you're supposed to rule, right? But then Alicent said something very interesting when she said, like, you know, have your past not been avenged yet? Like, Aemon is full of anger, right?
Oh.
He feels like he's been cheated in many ways.
He's drowning in anger. Like, he's dyeing his hair with anger.
No, but like, the blacks, like the whole family, kind of like the kids especially, like he already had his revenge against Luke, right?
Yeah.
But I think over time his anger festered, and he feels like Rhaenyra wasn't doing her job. Aegon wasn't the right choice. His mom never truly looked at him. Like he feels undervalued, and that's why I keep saying he's just like Daemon, man, because he wants recognition. He wants to be looked at, and he wants to be told, like, good job. I mean, you deserve it, right? You're better. Because that's the thing. He saw everyone else, and he was like, you obviously are not doing your jobs.
I could do the same job. I could do your job, and I could do it better.
No, but it's kind of like you do everything right, You do everything right. You tame the biggest dragon. You are the better fighter. You have the best strategies. Yet no one listens to you. No one puts you anywhere, gives you rewards or anything. But everyone else gets something, and they don't deserve it, right? It's anger that festers, and even when it was his plan at Rook's Rest. He was doing it, and then Aegon showed up, and I think he maybe saw it as, again, you're messing things up, you're not listening, and now you're screwing over my plan, and you want to try to take the glory, like the what's the word, man? The audacity, maybe, like the audacity to do that, like to think that you could do that, like it's kind of like he saw a child trying to be a man, and he's like, no, dude, you don't belong here, and so he gave him what he thought he deserved. And Aegon survived, and he's being strong, and it's really sad what he's going through. But Aemon is like, I'm finally getting my due. Now you suffer. Aegon is still a danger for Aemon, because if he can talk, he can give orders, and he's still the king as long as he's alive, right? Maybe for Aemon it feels better to see Aegon suffer like that. And now that he's in the Red Keep, it's not like he can poison him, but there's still a chance that he could try, right? So to ascertain his strength and his power on his brother and be like, do you remember anything? No, you don't remember anything.
Did you remember anything?
And like, just to drive the point home, to hurt him and be like, see how frail you are currently? I can destroy you. I can make it worse. So don't say anything. Like, he's, in his mind, he's finally getting what he wants and what he deserves, and no one is gonna, be in his way. So if you start telling him what to do, if you want his help and you're like, yeah, come here and help me, like, no one is going to rule him anymore. No one is going to tell him what to do, because he believes he can do it on his own. He's got the strongest dragon, he's a good fighter, and all of that. He doesn't want anyone to stand above him, but that does make him overconfident.
True.
So I feel like
And
he's
it's the
just a
fact
child who just let his anger take over, man.
All of them are technically just children, if you think about it.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that, like you said, he got the bigger dragon. He got the bigger, better skill, the better knowledge, the better smart. It's smarter than his brother or people that he knows. And in his youth, he thinks that he knows better. Usually, younger children or teenager or young adults think that they know better.
He's not a teenager.
He's
not a teenager.
Young adults.
But the thing is,
young adults
just like Daemon,
think that they know better and that they can do it better than us.
Just like Daemon, though, when you're good at a few things, it goes to your head sometimes. And I feel the both of them, they got victories, right? They got stuff. Like, they made themselves really good at a lot of things, and I'll give him that. Still, they didn't get the recognition. They felt frustrated over that, and I feel like when they get the recognition, their skills kind of go to their head even more. Like, they've always seen themselves as the better choice. So because of that, now whenever someone challenges them, they dismiss them all right away. They don't listen to advice because they think they know better. They don't, they're not, careful when it comes to fights and dragons and stuff, because they feel like they're the strongest out there. The only challenge for them is each other, which is why I'm expecting a big fight between the two eventually, which I'm afraid will end in Daemon's death, because Alice did say he was going to die in Harrenhal. But truly, they believed so much they were the better choice. Now they feel like they are the better choice in every freaking field, and that makes them reckless, and that makes them overconfident, and that makes them disregard people who might have good advice for them.
Like your mom?
Oh, the whole scene where he dismisses her is just painful, man. But in a way, Alicent too, for the whole political side of the situation, I feel bad for her. As a mother, though, you have failed your children. And we've talked about this before.
We brought up the subject.
With the other kid.
Is it the Red Keep, or is it the mom who failed the child?
It's a bit of both, because the Red Keep is what led Alicent to act that way. She was so afraid of losing her kids. She needed them to be strong. She needed them to be ready. And instead of treating them like kids, she treated them like pawns. And Otto didn't help because he was doing the exact same thing, right? Like the way he treats Alicent is kind of the way she treats her children, and we don't approve of either. But that's all in the hopes of helping them, of saving them. But unfortunately, she destroyed her relationship with them, to the point where like she's desperately looking for a connection with one of her kids, and she turns to the kid who she didn't raise. She's like, how is he? He's kind and stuff, yet he was away from the manipulations of the Red Keep, the pressure.
When you're living in King's Landing, you're under the regards of every noble families who lives under the eye of every nobles, every...
The Lannisters send their regards.
True. So you're need to watch yourself. You need to watch your words, because people can just backstab you for anything.
So you can't really trust anyone.
You're under so much pressure, and you're technically, it's so easy for you to just have access to anything: women, gold, drugs, wine, drinks, anything. So the temptation is just right there also, like for Aegon, and you basically live like.
Yeah, well, I'm looking more at their relationship with Alicent. It's just that she wanted them to be ready for a potential war with Rhaenyra. Like she needed them to be strong in case Rhaenyra came for them. But instead of treating them like children and being their mother, she was kind of like their teacher, and she reprimanded them every time they were not good enough. But she did that so often that they grew resentful of her. And unfortunately, it's not just that too. Like as a child, when stuff happens, kind of like when Aemon got hurt, you expect something to be done, but politics and the dynamics between who did what, like it's not the way we know it today. But the needs for a child to be like held and just cajoled and be told like everything's gonna be okay, like I'm gonna take care of it. The need is still there. It's just that she couldn't act necessarily how they wanted her to act because of her position. Being in the royal family sucks if you think about it.
Yeah.
So it's just like there are great fan fictions about like Game of Thrones, and what if like Jon had grew up in the Red Keep with his father and stuff, and how that would change him as a character, and how he would react maybe if he was sent to ward with the Starks, and how that would change things. Like some are so well written, but it shows the damage that King's Landing does, and the royal family, and the expectations of being like the heir or just a king's child, what that does to a person. So
maybe was it Deacon or child's name? What's the name of our children? Darren?
Something like that. Another day.
I mean, well, Darren, now we know that he's a kind lad who loves having time with young ladies and being just a carefree 10 and 6 young boy.
But still, he would have been raised to potentially take over
Highgarden. It's true, but
not Highgarden, Hightower.
But when you're far away from court, you can just be more or less yourself. You don't have that pressure.
He would have
you're more carefree, basically.
He would have expectations on him too. It's just it's not as strong as the Red Keep for sure. And when you're not the heir to the throne, or even like the second heir to the throne, like it's a big difference. But we'll see him in season 3. Apparently, like I said, he's been cast, so
yeah,
it's something. I mean, he's a potential dragon rider.
Potential.
So, speaking of dragon riders that see themselves as more than they are, Daemon. I feel like finally, as soon as he said those words to Viserys in his vision, like the connection between finally things are going, in the right direction for me, and I'm finally saying
I should have been there.
Yeah, like his regrets are so numerous at this point, and his visions mean something when. It's his regrets, if you think about it. It regrets with Rhaenyra, regrets with Viserys, regrets with himself. Like, he does run away every time things get difficult, and he tried to do that again in his vision because Viserys was calling him out on something he said and he did. That came from, just like I said with Aemon, is basically he needs to be told you're good, like you're good enough. He needed his brother to tell him, I need you by my side, I respect you, I acknowledge your skills, and that's all great. But when you need it so much that you start to do things to prove yourself, that put the others in danger because you don't pay attention to what they truly need and you're just messing up. That's what he's doing with Rhaenyra once again. He's trying to prove himself and he's trying to be acknowledged and stuff. But what he's truly doing is losing her army because he's messing up. He's been doing that.
Always backfiring on
on
him right now.
It does because he's so convinced that he's got the right way to do things. Like he can't make any mistakes, right? He's always right. And Viserys was the one making mistakes, and he did a mistake. He made a mistake. He made a mistake when he named Rhaenyra heir, and he should have named me instead. And now, see, I'm dealing with the issues. It's always him who's the savior. It's always the others who make mistakes. But in his last vision, when he held Viserys and he said, I should have been there. I'm sorry. I'm here now. He was listening to his brother's needs. He wasn't telling him like, oh, like, you should have done things differently. Like, it's on you for wanting to change things and stuff. He didn't focus on himself by being like, well, you lost a child and you lost your wife, so I guess I'm the heir now. Like, I'll take over.
He took responsibility.
Yeah, he took responsibility and he acknowledged that he should have been there, so he made a mistake. He basically made it about Viserys instead of making it about him, and that's when finally things went his way. And I love the connection and him crying. The satisfaction of finally doing something right, of finally having someone helping you, and he didn't beg, but he had to do something he never did before because he used to just run away, you know, whenever he had frustrations, whenever something went wrong, and he felt like, oh, you're not treating me the way you should, and you're just blaming me for stuff. He would just lash out and be like, yeah, obviously you're treating me like this because you've always treated me like this, instead of just being genuine and being like, brother, you're hurting me. I feel sad about our relationship. I want to work on that. I'm sorry. Can you help me? Like, instead of being genuine, he always would buckle up, just fucking put himself in an armor behind walls and flee. And then later on blame everyone else for his problems. So this was the big change. He asked for help. He asked twice too, in two different ways, but he kind of asked twice. And he got it finally after making this change in his vision. So him crying makes so much sense to me, and I think it's sweet.
And let's be honest, you think that she poisoned the guy?
Or the coincidence is huge, but it sounds like, yeah, because she did say, he asked for help, and she said, things will change in 3 days. So she knew. She could have had a vision, to be fair, but
true.
She was also the one that asked him.
We will never know with guarantee what happened, right?
Well, we can assume strongly. In any case, did we forget anyone?
No, I think we...
Well, the small folk, we didn't talk about the small folk, which is the name of the episode.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about it a lot in the episode itself, but I guess it makes a lot of sense. It's a genius move what they did to send food, like them throwing fish at Alicent, because like that's all they gave them, right? Like fish with a side of fish, while they eat good food, good meat, like good vegetables and stuff. You gotta treat your small folk right, because they have a lot of power and they can turn on you. Maybe as a warrior like Aemon, you don't see what damage they could truly do, because like truly there are no armies, right? What are they gonna do? But who's to say, right? You live there. They could start burning houses. Like, some people could go fucking crazy, storm the Red Keep. If you kill everyone, and if they decide to storm the Red Keep, and you start killing everyone, who are you gonna rule over? Like, you're gonna be the king of nothing. So...
And I mean, we've seen those Queen's Guard, basically, being run over by the mob. It is true.
Knights can be killed.
It is true that Alicent told them to sheathe their swords, so they weren't trying to cut people over. But when you're facing a mob, you can be run over.
And not just that, but like in that moment, if they were lucky, but Alicent and Alina
were in danger,
could have died. So this could be really bad. And what we saw, like the knights are supposed to be these powerful warriors. Like they should take care of. They know how to take care of themselves. So the small folk, if you don't value them at all, that's one thing. But when they are capable of killing or hurting, severely hurting a knight, that shows how much power they truly have. And they are bigger than you. They are bigger people than you. So if they decide to attack, they could cause some damage.
You know what? The greatest scene that I could think of, man, who represent what we just saw is
Bugs
Life. The ants versus the
crickets.
What's the name?
In French, well, in English, I don't remember.
Sauterelle. What's sauterelle in English? I forgot about it.
It's sauterelle.
Crickets. C'est pas sauterelle.
Grasshopper?
Grasshopper. Thank you very much. Sorry, guys. Pardon my French.
French.
So yeah, so we saw in that beautiful movie what the mob, the quantity, can do against a small amount of people.
A stronger but smaller force, right?
Yeah.
Things could change, and not just for that, but like in that group, there are people like Ulf, the guy who claims to be part Targaryen, and we're looking for dragon riders, and they are dragons without riders, currently going around. And if he already has said that he supports Rhaenyra and Jace, but if you give him the opportunity, maybe he gets his own dragon, and maybe he turns the tide too, because that's another thing. You underestimate so many people. Daemon was doing the same thing too. Like, he underestimates the power of the lesser people, according to him, right? Those that they can do damage to me, right? For him, it's because I'm Daemon Targaryen. I have a dragon. I'm in his mind the rightful king and stuff like that. So they don't, like, they're old. They don't do nothing, but the respect that they have, the reputation, that does a lot of damage. People will rise and fall for people like that. And if you disrespect those people, you don't get the army behind it. Same with the small folk. If you disrespect the small folk, you are potentially creating enemies that will one day maybe find the strength and the weapons to attack you back. The underdogs, man, they rise and they destroy.
And I mean, Mysaria said it best. How could you manage to fight a war outside if you need to fight a war inside your own walls?
Well, yeah.
Right.
And I mean, Aemon is needed outside the walls because they're all going towards Harrenhal. They will need a dragon. He did say he'll be there whenever they need him, but that means they trust him to show up. And what if he's too busy with whatever's going on?
People. Yeah.
Because he needs to get to the dragon pit to get his dragon. Currently, he's got nothing. So to get to the dragon pit, you need to cross the place, right? And if it's filled with people who hate your guts, that's going to be difficult. So what if you can't get there on time? See, it could change a lot of things. We'll see.
We'll see.
In any case, that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching it with us. If you want to see the next episode right away, well, it's going to come soon. I'm not going to, since we're catching up, I'm not going to release it too early on Patreon. So it'll come in the next few days, and the full-length reaction will be on Patreon though. So if you want to check that out, the link will be in the description below.
Alright, see you soon, guys.
Bye.